Hello guys and welcome from not so sunny Tuliola. So we will have a nice and chill stream today. We'll go and keep leveling my trusts. I'm still going through the Endwalker dungeons. So that's what we will be doing. So you might see Tuliola but you won't see any downtrail dungeons. So we will just get the trusts up and let's go to Endwalker. Okay, we'll have a look which guys we will take with us, but I will do a run on each type of DPS, so melee and ranged, and we'll do some caster as well. I do have my casters leveled up, but I did a leveling roulette earlier today and I was thrown into the level 97 dungeon on my black mage and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing with my rotation. So probably a little bit of black mage practice won't hurt. So that's the plan for today, and we'll try to give you some little advice how to play the different DPS jobs in the dungeons. So let's have a look. Afino is 83, so is Alize. Orange is 84, Estinian another 83. Okay, we can take these guys, Tancred, Graha and Istola, and we can do one level 85 dungeon, and then they will hopefully get one more level, so on the next run we can take them to the higher dungeon and then we don't have to do the same dungeon all over again. That sounds like a good plan. We'll start with Samurai. I'm not very good with Samurai. Melees are not really my style. The two I'm okay-ish with is Ninja and Viper, but I did a few roulettes on Samurai and Fates. Mostly I was leveling it through the Chloe book, which I will also show you in case you don't know what that is. And I think I start to get the hang of the rotation, so let's go and practice some more Samurai in Once a Party. And as always, the first thing to do when you go leveling in a dungeon, use some food. Doesn't matter what food, because all of them will give the XP, but if you care about your DPS as well, and you should as a DPS, then use some DPS food. Alright. Let's hope that this time Tancred is not going to murder me. But as always, looks like I will have to pull for him, at least at the beginning, or he might be jumping on them quickly. Okay, he did jump fairly quickly. If you are a tanking for a DPS, then you will want to group up the mobs nicely. And if you are a DPS, you will want to get out of the AoEs to make a dive of your healer easier. To be fair, on melee DPS you do have leg sweep which can kick these guys up, so if you manage to target the one which is doing the AoE, then you can help your party by kicking them nicely so they won't be casting that big AoE. I will allow you, Graha. Thank you. It's more enjoyable when the tank is pulling two groups and then you can do all your big attacks and everything, but don't expect too much from the trusts. Like, I might try to pull some more because I know that Tancred can handle it, but in general, unless you double pull for them, they are not going to double pull. And it would help if I was using more of my skills, right? These new dungeons are done a little bit interestingly sometimes, because before it used to be that one pull was like a double pull and the other one was a triple pull. Then you got a few dungeons where it's consistently double pulls before you hit like a barrier where you can't pull anymore. But in this one, that first pull was in two sections, and I'm not going to try to pull more here because I can't see where the next group is, so there's not much point to try and drag them there. As a general rule, as a DPS, usually you will want to use your AoE if there are 3 targets or more, and you want to use your single attacks if it's only 2 enemies. The Trust, they are not using AoEs, they will only just use their single targets. So all the AoE what you see here is coming from me. Other than that, as soon as the first one is dead, you can just switch to single target, because it's a waste of DPS to use the AoE attacks on the only 2 targets. There are a few exceptions. So for example, on Black Mage, if there are 2 targets, you will want to use your AoE dot, because that will be applied to both mobs then. I think this guy is doing the same circle attack what they did at the beginning, so I will try to kick him and show you how that's done, and meanwhile try not to mess up my rotation. Believe me or not, it's not easy to play properly. Of course I kicked the wrong one, yeah. So, it's not easy to play properly and also keep talking. I can do one or the other, but not both. We will get there at some point. Probably I could do it on like Summoner or Scholar, which are my mains, but on a job where I actually need to pay attention to what I'm doing and it doesn't come from muscle memory yet, it's not easy. Alright, let's see a boss fight. Maybe I will be better in single target damage. So, if you are tanking, you will want to tank the boss nicely in one position as much as possible. Not spin it around. It's one thing if it spins around on its own, but like you don't want to spin it around, because it would be making the life of your DPS harder. Also DPS, if you have a dot, don't forget about it. Not many have anymore. Samurai still has one, and Bard has one as well. And what you can do, as Billy DPS, you have Feint, that little hand what I just pressed down there. That is a nice mitigation. So it's more physical mitigation, but it also has some magical mitigation as well. And on second try I managed to find where I need to go. Nice. I think we are on the right side, yeah. There's a nice melee uptime position here. Don't always believe the trust, because they are programmed to actually do the mechanics first and then do damage. So you will see them often stopping when they are doing a mechanics. And actually that's something what I recommend when you are learning a fight. That if you don't know what's happening, it's better to just stop and pay attention to that mechanic, so you will have a chance to learn it. I will trust this Tora. So yes, if you need to pay attention to one thing, pay attention to the mechanics. It's fine to stop with the DPS. In normal content there are very few places where there is a DPS check and you would wipe, so that's not a problem if you leave out a few attacks. Pay attention to that mechanic so you have a chance to learn it. Once you got comfortable with the mechanics, then you can try to optimize positionals for it. Try keeping the uptime, but at the beginning just learn the mechanics. Because it might be just me, but if I die once, then it's a lot harder for me to pick up where I left off and get the hang of the fight again. So I will most likely make even more mistakes. Already mentioned the other day when we were trying melees that you want to be hitting your positioners for a bigger damage, and not just bigger damage but also some skills will not add the additional effect if you are not hitting the positioners correctly. So where you see that open circle at the back side of the boss, that's where you want to be for your rear positioners. And if you are on the side, that's where you want to hit your flank positioners. But the little trick with that is that you don't need to move that much, so you don't need to run from the back of the enemy all the way to the side of it. You just need to balance around that little edge between the gap and the circle. I didn't manage to get off my big attack on the boss, so had to do some tricks to not waste that damage on just one enemy. But probably I made even more mistakes since then. I like the vibe of this dungeon, but also it's a sad dungeon. Okay, let's go for the next pack. It's they are so far away from each other that I really don't feel like I should be dragging more mobs for the NPCs. Maybe here. Think I can bring some more for Tancred now. Okay. Very good. That's a nice double pack.
Allow me.
I think at one point they changed the AoE attacks for Samurai, and it's like a kind of circle-ish AoE now. It used to be a cone attack, and it's a lot easier now that you can just stand in one place and use your attack, not having to aim it. But if you are playing the few DPS who still have like aim attacks, then you also want to pay attention which direction you are facing when doing those attacks. Don't know how much XP I will get from this one. We might have a chance that I can level this up to level 100 today. We will see. Okay, this boss has two different mechanics, and actually if you are on a shield healer,
I'll tend to your wounds.
then you can ignore one of these mechanics and keep uptime, but that's always up to the healer if they want to do that or not. Okay, let's see how melee friendly this is going to be. Okay, this was fairly alright. Let's give some mitigation for Tancred, for the Tank Buster. It's better to use that mitigation for raid fights usually, but nothing is hitting really that hard here, so it was fine to use it for the Tank Buster. And I totally pressed the wrong button.
I'll tend to your wounds.
Told you that I'm not very good on melee.
Allow me.
And if you just want to ignore mechanics, then you can use your arm stance, which will ignore the knockback, and you can keep up time and be a nice melee and go there for the stack. This is the mechanics which you can ignore with a shield healer, but obviously we can't really do that with NPCs. Another common mistake with melee, and I do it a few times as well, but you are here to do as I say and not as I do. So you can stop and go to your right position but miss out on GCDs, or when a GCD is ready you can hit it no matter if you are in the right position or not. And actually hitting a GCD at the wrong position where it's not giving you the bonuses for your positional will be better than missing GCDs and keep running around to hit it from the perfect spot. Ideally, you will want to position to the right place. If you can't, then you can use True North and hit that attack from anywhere and it will still register as it should. Oh, hi Kuya! Thank you for the follow. You can watch my very bad melee gameplay. So, we were at True North. True North will ignore all the positional requirements, so you can just press your skill from wherever you want to press it, and it will be still fine. You are still new. Well, welcome then, and I hope that I will be able to tell you some few things which will be useful. I'm a caster and healer main, usually play summoner or scholar, so this is not just me teaching some stuff for people, but also me learning some stuff on the way, because as we usually say, we should learn something new every day. There are so many things which the game doesn't really teach you unless you read all the little explanations for your skills and remember them all, or you find a nice mentor in game who will actually tell you that hey, you are doing something wrong. Because that happened to me when I started back in Realm Reborn. I came from games where healers don't really need to do damage. So I was in the dungeon waiting for the tank to take damage, and when they were not taking damage, I just didn't do anything. And I got yelled at by someone that do something or we'll kick you from the group. And I didn't understand what they wanted me to do. Oh, Paladin or Dark Knight. I played a lot of Dark Knight in Shadowbringers. Really liked it there. And in Endwalker, I was trying to get the tank specific mount for Paladin, so I was playing more Paladin there. And I enjoyed it a lot more than when I originally leveled it up. But my choice of tank would be Gunbreaker. That's what I like the most. Oh yeah, not turning the tank stance on. Hey, you can't see it now because I don't have that title on. But I cleared an ultimate. And I still forget to switch off my tank stance. It's okay. Okay, I'm actually in good position for this, so we will just take that ride. And I will keep the arm's length for the next one because that will be with stack markers or spread or whatever. I'm not doing that. And my choice of melee is ninja. I enjoy it a lot and getting better at it, but not still not the level that I would like do an extreme trial on it. I'm fine in normal content. I haven't decided on my ranged DPS because when I was originally leveling them up, I really liked Machinist, but then it became a bit clunky at one point. So I swapped to Dancer and I liked it a lot. But then towards the end of Endwalker, I ended up playing a lot of Bard and that was very enjoyable. So I think at the moment I prefer Bard from the ranged DPS. Yes, Bard is really good for alliance trades and also low level dungeons because it has AoE where the casters and melee DPS don't necessarily have it yet. Okay, is Ishtola going to steal my limit break? Or can I limit break? I'm not doing it now because then we all die. But after this mechanics, I will do it. There. No stealing my limit break, Ishtola. And that's one dungeon done. And the guy is leveled up. Nice. I can take them to the next one and we don't have to do this one again. Okay, for the next one I will bring Bard so you can judge my bad Bard gameplay. Yeah, I started on the PS4 and back in Realm Reborn when I got to level 50 it was just so many skills and so many buttons that first I bought a keyboard and mouse for my PS4 and then I swapped over to PC and when I was learning Astro, that was too much for my normal keyboard layout. So I got an MMO mouse with the 12 buttons on the side, and I can't go back anymore. So no controller for me, no. I respect every person who can decently play on a controller because I don't know how you guys do that with that layout. Probably I have a lot of buttons around, but I don't necessarily should have on my board. But I said that if I will level up one more character on another server so I can help people there as well, I will try to do that from the beginning with controller, and maybe I can get used to it. I think we just all have our preferences and we are good with that, and we don't know how the other group is doing that kind of magic what they are doing on their layouts. They can't jump there. I also have slow reactions when I'm just on a job I'm not that used to, and I keep looking at my hotbar instead of looking at what's happening around me. That's why I like these trusts, because you can make mistakes without anyone judging you, and you can die as many times as you want to, and still learn a new job and get more comfortable with it. I always feel so bad when I'm in a dungeon with a job I'm not comfortable on and I make mistakes, and then oh my god, the healer will hate me. But here I have Graha to heal me and he doesn't hate me. Right, Catboy? Also is a huge help with DPS queues, because I remember when I had to stand in queue for half an hour and couldn't go anywhere because I had to stand by the dungeon entrance. So I was just doing fates for half an hour in the same area waiting for the dungeon to pop. uh, this is my main and it's on Odin on light in EU. I do have an alt on NA. It's on Balmung on Crystal. Yeah, I'm in Europe, so try to push this stream as late as possible, because I know that I have people from the States who want to watch. And maybe this is like doable for them and not too late for me. But I have quite a few friends in NA, so I made a alt there because we don't have the DC travel yet. Still going through the Endwalker MSQ on that, so I'm not that far ahead, but I have tank, healer and a few DPS unlocked on it. So if you ever need any help, I can jump over to Dynamis and help you. I keep forgetting my dots on Bard. Oh, Heaven's Ford is a nice one. Hope these dungeons are not too spoilery for you then, because these are from Endwalker.
You're mine.
Well, to be fair, it will be a long time before you get there, so you might forget them by then. Heaven's Ford is a really nice expansion. I like that one. As for my favorite, I'm torn between Shadowbringers and Dawntrail. Okay, let's try to do a somewhat decent Bard opener. I love it when we get Sprouts doing this dungeon for the first time and they get confused where to go when the boss disappears.
My turn.
It's surprising how many things you can do in the free trial, and it is quite good because there are so many things to catch up on.
My turn.
I think it's fair that you can play the previous expansions for free. Well done me, I definitely didn't hit with that last one. Yes, because you also get the end level of the expansion, what you get in the free trial. So with the Stormblood, they extended it to level 70, but until it was just Heaven's Ward included, it was level 60.
Attend your eat.
And I'm being a good DPS and using my mitigation for the stack. Probably it's not that important in a simple dungeon, but in any harder raid, it's a must. I'm wondering if they will ever make Shadowbringers part of the free trial, because it's like the most beloved expansion probably. It has so much content. I think if that ever makes it into the free trial, that will be huge. Okay, thank that you are not going to just tank these three mobs. I'm bringing you more. There. Well, Yoshipi said that he has expansions planned out for the next 10 years or so. So I believe that we will get expansions beyond Dawntrail. Another thing I see quite a few ranged DPS forget that they have Peloton and they can help us run faster. Peloton is good. Sprint is still good if you need to use it in combat, because you can use it in combat and you can't use Peloton. But if you just want to run around in town, then Peloton is a lot faster cooldown than Sprint. You can keep Peloton on all the time. keep my big attacks for the boss and try to do a decent opener again. Okay, I think that was fairly decent opener. Ishtar, the rest is on you. Do some damage, girl. Tancred is usually a very good one to follow around if you don't know the mechanics, because he was standing just right at the edge out of the danger zone, showing you where you can stand and not get hit.
Allow me.
Don't stand in fire.
Allow me.
In these last few minutes, I was perfectly showing what not to do. Keep focusing on my buttons and then stand where I shouldn't be standing. And they were just standing right next to the boss, not doing anything, not doing any damage, just doing the mechanics. Ouch. I don't know who said that females are good at multitasking, because I'm definitely not. I'm either looking at my hotbar and pressing my skills, or I'm looking what I'm doing. But that's a level up. And I didn't die, but I'm sorry, healer.
I cannot let you take me, Sion. Not yet.
Try to use my line AoE while they were still nicely packed up. Is Bard and Dark Knight. Dragoon still has quite a few line AoEs, and it's not always easy to hit all targets with it. Usually if you are playing Dragoon or Bard and you get a Dark Knight tank and everything is nicely lined up, then you know that they are doing it because they know the pain of the line AoE targeting. Healer always becomes the casualty, yes. And every black mage will probably tell you that's perfectly fine, they will just stand in their delay lines and the healers will adjust. But to be fair, it's not easy to move with a black mage, especially on low level, so if I can, I always throw an extra shield on them as a healer and just let them do their thing. They are there for big damage, I'm there for healing. Okay, I think it's the last pull before the final boss. Oh, no, it's not final boss time. This could have been such a nice big group, but they had to break it up into small ones. Istra, can we please decide which one we are hitting? Thank you. It's so typical when you have two enemies, the other DPS will hit the other one. Just finish one quickly so the tank is getting less damage. Okay, now it's final boss time. Tank it, please. Thank you.
The time and tranquility I require. Lust and gale, gather to me. Ancient brand, unleash your power.
think. Yep, that was not the safe spot.
Dancing winds, pierce my foe.
Should have just followed Tancred instead of trying to find a safe spot myself.
Stars on high, all is rain.
Oh, and Tancred actually interrupted it. Nice one. I didn't know if he's going to do that. Yes, that was a spell, so it can be interrupted with the head gaze. And quite a few tanks don't know that. And also quite a few ranged DPS don't know that they can do that as well.
Surge is one.
Okay, I will just believe Tancred this time and follow him around. Or I shouldn't because I'm slow. He was at the wrong spot until the very last minute and then swapping over. Naughty boy.
Dancing winds, pierce my foe.
Okay, I interrupted this one. I think his ability was still on cooldown. Because usually you only have it for the first one, and then the other person has to do the second one.
Stars on high, all is rain.
I will not hold back.
Okay, let's hide again.
Even when transformed, but I am not finished yet.
I'm not giving my limit break to Istola. Usually people run around with these and they can't really figure out what to do with them. You just stop at the first one because it will hit you, and then the second one you need to get away from. Okay, two of them are not level 89 yet, which is not nice. But I did promise some caster gameplay, so let's be a horrible black mage. And I will do a smaller dungeon, so we are not doing the same ones constantly. We can do a Tower of Babel. and just let some of the other guys get some extra levels as well. Actually, we can take Graha for tank this time, and let's see how good a healer Urianger is. Okay. Don't need to level my black mage, I got it up to level 100, but I want to practice some rotations because I had absolutely no idea what I was doing the last time. Really? I'm being too nice and I'm getting out of my ley lines instead of just letting the healer to heal me. Like any decent black mage would. But I'm trying to be good and respecting the mechanics. Black Mage and Pictomancer are both that type of job where you really need to know the fight you are doing. Is there are a lot of skills which you need to stand still and cast, and you have a few movement tools, but you really need to know when to use them.
Allow me. Hold still.
They really don't want me to stand in my ley lines.
Allow me.
I think I'm better in single target, but the AoE rotation I constantly make some mistakes. Okay, in this one I did fairly alright because I know this dungeon, so I knew that knockback was coming. But I should have waited with my ley lines there. Ow. I was so sure that's going to hit me. I should have just stayed. I'm really not making the life of my healer easy. But why always me? That's a good question though. It was constantly targeting me. And that's not fair. Black Mage, you either need to react very fast and then you can get out of AoEs and everything, or probably why a lot of them just stay in AoEs, because by the time you could react to it, you won't get out of the AoE. So if you get hit, then you might as well just stay and do your rotation. I think this is the secret behind the Black Mage big DPS.
Hold still. Make ready. He goes.
I really like the change they made to the Umbra Soul. It wasn't this easy to keep up the ice phase where you regenerate your mana. You had to press that button constantly to keep it up. So Black Mages didn't get to go on a pee break because they need to keep pressing that button. Now you can actually just press it and then leave it until you start the next fight, which is nice.
Bring to bear. Hold still.
and by some miracle we managed to target the same mob with Pistora. There is a trick pull in this dungeon what I usually do as tank, but I'm not sure if I want to do that for the NPCs because I don't think that Urianger can heal that pull. Probably we will just stick with the safe and boring and slow way, but actually survive and not having to start the encounter again. This is just 3 mobs, so we will be definitely fine with these ones. Just a second. I don't want the art adverts, thank you. I should have known that Estrian is going to steal the limit break, but he had every right to do so because he's a melee. I will just stand here in my ley lines and keep casting. Until I mess it up, that is. This is a perfect example of how to do the mechanics where things are falling on the head of everyone, because the NPCs were going in completely one direction. So when they get those AoEs dropped on them, it will be stacked in one place in the dungeon and not spread all over the place. So that's very helpful if you have like a tiny space. And that's actually often used in like savage raids and harder content where you have limited space. So you often see the 8 players in the raids stacked up on top of each other so they can avoid dropping these AoEs all over the place. Oh, yeah, Nahanix. Hello. Made it just in time. Nothing happened, no one saw anything. just keep making a lot of mistakes now. Yeah, so they've been nicely stacking those AoEs and I'm running around here with my own alone.
All or nothing!
Okay, we have two big packs left or four small ones. We'll see if I will try to pull it for the NPCs, might do. Or might just play it safe. Just a second, just trying to do some clearing up. I'm really not good at Twitch moderation. Okay.
Together we shall overcome.
Okay, I will stick with these small groups because I'm not sure that they can handle it. I know that Graha is a fairly capable healer when it comes to double pulls, even with the low DPS what the NPCs are usually doing. But Urianger let me die on multiple occasions,
Allow me.
so I really don't trust him with bigger pulls. Also, I'm probably not the best black mage to make up for the lack of AoE damage what Estonian is doing.
Allow me.
after this there's one more group and then the final boss. I was just checking if I'm hitting all three of them. Luckily I was, because the range of the skill is quite big, but usually if you have an AoE attack, try to target the middle enemy and make sure that you are hitting them all. Okay, last group.
This will hurt.
Allow me.
Alright, boss time. Let's see if I can do a proper opener. I put down my ley line in the middle because usually one of these squares at the back is free, so I wanted to stay in these as long as possible. But I still managed to mess up my rotation. Never mind. It's better to come to one of the corners because then you definitely don't get hit. But the NPCs were just like, nah, we are fine in the middle. And another good thing on Black Mage, if you know where are the transitions in a fight where you can't attack the boss for a while, because that's where you should be doing what I haven't done here, to go into your ice phase and use Umbra Soul, so you can actually keep up your ice phase while the transition is going on. Of course it is targeting me. And I should try and not kill Urianger. But I shouldn't have killed myself either. Yeah, I don't know how you are meant to do that as a Black Mage. Probably not damage at all. Okay. I'm happy that we can run through all this corridor again. And then try that boss again without me messing up. As I was trying to use my triple cast so I can still do my fire spells, but it was just not happening. These things are still working, so better not get flattened by these machines. Okay, let's try this again. So with the ley lines, it's always a good idea to put it down in a way that you can use it for positioning.
Allow me.
I was trying to use shortcuts there so it's not kicking me away, but I wasn't fast enough. And this is where we do the transitioning. So I don't have to build up my rotation from the beginning when we come out from this transitioning here. Okay.
Together we shall overcome this.
Try to be in one corner already, and then hopefully it will be a lot easier if it targets me with that Manix again. And I'm definitely not putting down my ley lines. Or actually I can, because it's not me who got targeted. Nice. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to be doing, just running like they did, without doing any damage. But that's not what players are going to do. And he's transitioning again. I will come closer so the healer is not going to be mad at me for being in a corner and not being in the healing range. Especially when we have an Astro and they do this nice bubble. Please stand in it. Because they can't move with that. Estienne can be very dramatic with this shouting.
Time to end this!
And of course he wants the limit break as well.
Time to end this! Time to end this!
I think he tried that limit break like 3 times.
Make ready!
I've never seen him do this before. I'm not moving, Urianger. Don't even try to bring your AoE on me. I'm not moving. Okay, they did get a little bit of level up, so that's good. But I still prefer to go with a tank who is pulling double pulls. But I won the achievements, so trying to level up the trusts to level 90 and then to level 100. I shouldn't have left the Endwalker once. Should have done then still in Endwalker, but I didn't have that much time to play, so that was pretty much low on my priority list. But that's it for today. I hope you did learn a few new things, and hopefully see you guys next week. Thank you and good night or good day if you are on the other side of the ocean. Bye bye.